Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Before we get started, I know if you're here, you love Las Vegas, and you probably want to feel more connected to it. That's why now is the best time to become a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor. And because you're joining during our spring campaign, we're throwing in a free CityCast Las Vegas coffee mug as a welcome gift. So join the growing community of CityCast Las Vegas neighbors at membership.citycast.fm. That's membership.citycast.fm. Harry Reid Airport has undergone a lot of recent changes just in time for the rush of spring travels. Today on CityCast Las Vegas, Hey Las Vegas editor Rob Kachelreiss and I revisit our insider's guide to all the best spots to check out the next time you go to or even get stuck at the airport. It's Wednesday, April 23rd. I'm Dayvid Figler, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Rob, between the two of us, we've probably been to Harry Reid International hundreds of times. Easy. So if somebody wanted to get to the airport a few hours early and just hang out, or worse, their flight got delayed, where should they go and what should they do?
Well, I describe the Harry Reid Airport as an airport that's always looking out for you. Whatever you kind of need, what you want, it's there. I believe it's one of only 6 airports left in the country that allow smoking indoors. I don't like that, but some people might. You can drink. There's some restaurants and stands that will give you booze kind of on the spot to go.
And that's 24/7 for some of those places?
I believe so, although not all of them.
Right.
And what I really like when it comes to booze is Liquor Library. Liquor Library is in the baggage claim. I mean, this baggage claim is the most happening place in Vegas.
Here's the thing is I rarely will check a bag. I'll do what I can to have carry-on so I could just bust right through there and get to my ride.
Yeah.
I need to slow roll. All right, Liquor Library. Tell me, Rob, what's that?
What I love about Liquor Library, it's a full-service liquor store, and they got all the big brands, some fun stuff like local whiskey, like Frey Ranch or Smoke Wagon is even in there.
Oh wow!
So if you kind of need
our favorites, Rob, let's just be real about that. We love those. We love those brands.
We do.
You on the former, me on the latter. But yeah, definitely. Okay, yeah. So that's cool.
And I think they actually advertise themselves as the only liquor store in a baggage claim that's not duty free, as if that's a perk.
Yeah, right.
But I guess they're setting some kind of record. But and the prices are a little high.
What's the vibe in there?
It's like a full, liquor store, and they've got a little refrigerated section for booze to go kind of thing, this is kind of for people who are landing and are starting on their Vegas vacation ASAP. They're not wasting any time. Yeah. But what I like about it is that they give out free samples on a pretty regular basis, to the point that if you go on their website, they actually list the schedule for the entire week of what they'll be handing out at Liquor Library. And I don't know any other airport in the U.S. where you're getting free booze.
All right, we're going to link that in our show notes. That is for sure.
It's a valuable resource for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
The perk that I found is if I'm in the baggage claim waiting for, say, my parents to arrive and pick up their luggage, well, I can just go get a shot while I'm waiting. Liquor Library is right there by the escalator.
For most people's parents, that's for sure. Yeah, that is such a great tip. Okay, and now I have to hit the inevitable one. I mean, because everybody talks about it. There's not a comic who does Vegas jokes that doesn't mention it. But, we've got those slot machines all over the place. Rob, what is it? What's the allure? Can't people wait? Why do slot machines in an airport?
Some people just want to get their fix as soon as possible, or they want to kill some time while they're waiting to depart. Harry Reid is one of only 2 airports in the entire country that has slot machines. The only other one is the Reno Tahoe Airport,
of course,
which is a lot smaller.
Yeah.
But they're both in Nevada. And Harry Reid has more than 1,000 slot machines on property.
That's what I was going to ask.
They're real slot machines. They're just like what you'd see at your average casino on the Strip. And people win real money.
And lose real money, too. Let us make that very, very clear.
Yes,
it's probably very lucrative. Is it a bunch of different people who own those slot machines, or is it one, or what did you learn?
So the slot machines at the airport are operated by a company called Airport Slot Concession, which is run by Michael Gahn.
A very familiar name.
Might recognize that name. He's the son of Jackie Gahn, a very famous casino magnate in town who's kind of helped shape the character and economy of this city. But
not to mention the owner of the South Point Hotel, too.
Yeah. So, you know, how these things tend to go old Vegas style is it's a family business. So sometimes these things happen.
Wow. I wonder how he got that. Honestly, I wonder, but it's rhetorical. It's rhetorical.
Hey y'all, it's executive producer Sonia Cho Swanson. And before I went on mat leave last fall, I sent my parents and my in-laws each an Aura digital picture frame. And let me tell you, they are obsessed. I don't put my baby on social media, but I do upload her pics to her grandparents' frames in the Aura app. It's pretty easy. Like the other day, I uploaded a video of my daughter seeing butterflies for the first time at the Springs Preserve. So cute. And the whole family gets to share that memory forever. Sometimes my father-in-law will actually take a picture of his Aura frame and then text it to me when he sees a photo that he really loves. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver mat frame. That's auraframes.com, promo code CityCast. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
What sort of promises have you made to yourself this year? Getting in better shape, eating healthier, saving more money, traveling somewhere new? What about discovering a new culture by learning a new language? With Babbel, you can do that in just a few weeks. I'm Dayvid Plotz, the CEO of CityCast, and I've been learning Spanish with Babbel. Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons, handcrafted by over 200 language experts, get you to begin speaking your new language in 3 weeks or whatever pace you choose. And because conversing is the key to really understanding each other in new languages, Babbel is designed using practical, real-world conversations. The Spanish I learned on Babbel really helped me on a recent trip to Mexico City, ordering in restaurants, shopping at the textile market, cheering on at the Lucha Libre, and I've been keeping it up since I got home. You're a podcast listener. I know that because you're listening here. I bet you'll love Babbel's new podcasts. On Eavesdrop in Espanol, which I listen to, you get to listen to a real conversation, then have the teacher host explain back to you. Then you listen again and catch everything. And you can even read along in the transcript. It's a really fun and effective way to learn. Let's get more of you talking in a new language. Babbel is gifting CityCast listeners 60% off subscriptions at babbel.com/CityCast. Get up to 60% off at babbel.com/CityCast. Spelled BABBEL.com/CityCast. Babbel.com/CityCast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Hey Las Vegas, it's Dayvid Figler, and I want to invite you to become a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor. You may have heard us talking about our membership program before. Well, we've given it a new name, Neighbors, because neighbors and neighborliness, well, that's at the heart of what CityCast is trying to do. Neighbors, drop by for a barbecue. Neighbors, remind you that tomorrow is recycling day or bulk day. Neighbors, catch you up on the latest paid parking controversy. Better neighbors help make better cities, and that's what CityCast Las Vegas is here to do. When you support CityCast Las Vegas, you allow us to bring you this podcast every day, and you help make this amazing, complex city of ours a better place to live. For just $10 a month, you'll get the satisfaction of supporting our work and benefits that will help the city come alive for you. As a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor, you'll get insider access to member-only events and volunteer meetups. You'll get ad-free listening, a weekly roundup of the best things to do in the city, and even the chance to shout out your favorite nonprofit or business on the show. Plus, when you become a neighbor this week, we'll send you our exclusive CityCast Las Vegas neighbor welcome mug as a thank you gift. So let's redefine what it means to be a good neighbor in Las Vegas together. Head to membership.citycast.fm to become a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor today. All right, let's switch gears into food. You're a foodie, Rob. Is there good food at our airport?
Well, you know,
I love the pause.
yeah. You know what I like best about the Vegas airport is it doesn't have those annoying digital ordering tablets that so many other airports have in the middle of every table. I just think that's the worst thing. And as long as Vegas keeps that out, I'm happy. But there's a lot of options, obviously. I think sometimes Vegas can do better than it does. But you got things like Metro Pizza, which is a local favorite.
Yeah.
So you can't go wrong with that. And Las Vegas Airport is the only place where you can find Moe's Southwest Grill anywhere in Las Vegas.
Huh.
There's only one location left, and it's at the airport.
And you'd have to go through TSA, so this wouldn't be like a casual...
You would have to go through the TSA. You can't go to the airport just to hang out and...
At Moe's.
Have a little Moe's. But it's kind of similar to Chipotle. It's like, Bill Jones Burrito Bowl kind of thing.
Any other standouts in the food scene? Food scene at the multiple terminals?
There's a few fun vending machines, including one for Sprinkles Cupcakes, which used to be at the Link, but closed. So now the only place you can get it now is at the airport. And last I heard, they drive them up from Los Angeles every day. So these are like fresh cupcakes that they stock in the vending machines. That's last I heard. If it's changed since then, I'm not sure. But one of the most exciting openings, as far as excitement at the airport goes, is not too long ago, they opened up a coffee bar called Espresso Urbano by the people behind Samba Latte, which is a local coffee shop. Yeah.
I had no idea. I like Samba Latte very much, and I'm often in that in-terminal line for Starbucks to get my fix before I get on the plane. So which terminal is that in?
That's in T3. I believe it's by the baggage claim.
Oh, okay.
And T3 also has a steakhouse. It has a Las Vegas chop house and brewery. But what I find interesting about that is you can't have like steak knives in the airport because after you go through TSA, you can't take that on the plane with you.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Your steak, you might have to use a plastic fork and knife for that. But hey, it's still a steak in the airport.
Yeah, for sure. And, there's so many food courty places that probably are very familiar to people. But even like Shake Shack is over there in Terminal 1, I saw. So I guess if you're a Shake Shack fan, you got a place there too.
Well, if you're in the D concourse, that's like pizza heaven over there because you got Metro Pizza, you got Sammy's Wood-Fired Pizza, and then you got Wolfgang Puck Express, which serves pizza.
Oh,
so
okay.
you pretty much have the pizza spectrum to choose from all within a few steps from each other.
Any neat retail over there to check out? I've noticed that some airports are really kind of stepping up the high-end retail and not just the old school souvenir shops or the pulp fiction romance novel places.
You mean aside from the Lego vending machine?
Oh, there's a Lego vending machine? Rob, but you need to give me a list of all the vending machines between cupcakes and Legos, and I guess also there's like electronics ones and stuff like that. I could be in heaven.
No, I don't think there's anything you can't get from a vending machine in Las Vegas. But aside from that, there's a Raider Image location. Actually, I think there's two of them. So if you want to get some official Raiders swag, if you forgot to pick some up at Allegiant Stadium, you can pick some up and it's officially licensed and it could be the last thing you get while on the way out of Las Vegas.
Sure. At least someone's winning with Raiders gear. All right. Well, tell us a little history of Harry Reid International, which, of course, started out as a little airstrip in the desert. How did our little outpost grow into such a high-end, really metropolitan airport.
Yeah, I mean, you might kind of assume that the airport was there first and the city kind of grew around it, but it wasn't quite like that. The first plane arrived in Las Vegas on some dirt lot back in 1920. And then eventually the first thing that came close to resembling an airport was something called Anderson Field. And I believe that evolved into Rockwell Field. At some point, it's a little fuzzy with the history here, but what we know now as Nellis Air Force Base, which was known as the Las Vegas Army Airfield, actually had the unique situation of having both commercial and military aircraft taking off and landing at the same place at the same point in time.
Oh, that could be unsettling, but okay. I mean, sure. Small town.
Yeah, but what really developed with aviation in Vegas was mail, because you had mail service doing flying before most other people were, at least on a widespread basis. But this is like old school, back when, planes were made out of, a frame and cloth and, taking 5 hours to get from here to Salt Lake City and bumpy air travel and all that. But obviously, as tourism grew, what really set things wide open was the deregulation of the airline industry in the 70s, which caused prices to drop, more airlines, and then you had people coming to Vegas and the resorts here really promoting it.
Yeah, no, those junkets were real in the 70s and 80s. I remember we used to get visitors to my family, friends from back in Chicago where my parents were from, on the steady who came here on these junkets. And it would always be these trips out to the airport to go grab them. And, they would stay in these different hotels, mostly like the Flamingo or the Tropicana or, Caesar's Palace, et cetera. And it was all taken care of. But they had to have that great airport to be able to do that.
Yeah, and that's really what helped Vegas boom. There was a guy named George Crockett who was a flight instructor from the Midwest, and he founded Alamo Airport in 1942. And that really helped its presence there helped like the junket business evolve. And eventually that evolved into McCarran International Airport, which eventually became Harry Reid International Airport. And it has only grown since then.
Yeah, and we're going to gloss over that because that's a whole nother conversation about why a lot of people ultimately won the day to get McCarran's name, even though he was very instrumental in securing a lot of the aviation stuff that occurred here in the Valley off of the airport naming instead for Harry Reid, who, of course, was the highest ranking official ever to come out of Las Vegas area, Searchlight specifically, who rose to become Senate Majority Leader, which is kind of an amazing story in and of itself.
And I believe his support of the aviation industry was one of the things that helped inspire the name change.
Oh, absolutely. And I believe that just happened in December of 2021, and a lot of people still getting used to not calling it the former name.
Yeah, and I think they finally got all the signage replaced. There was a few
holdouts or
there were a few
stragglers
holdouts here and there, yeah. Well, here's the funny thing. For an airport that's full of quirks, Harry Reid International has Terminal 1, it has Terminal 3.
Yep.
But no Terminal 2.
That still screws me up when I go pick up someone at non-Terminal 1, and I'm like, is there a Terminal 2 that I'm missing out on?
Yeah,
what's that about?
So Terminal 2 was demolished, and there was sort of a mindset that I guess they could always rebuild on part of it or something.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that wouldn't really make sense anyway.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, because I think talking about all these amenities at our very big, very modern airport, Rob, you're the Tom Hanks character in the movie The Terminal, and you have to live in the airport. I think his character lived there for 9 months. So where are you going to spend most of your time?
I'm probably going to spend it in the Budweiser Lounge.
Oh.
Which is...
I love that you saved a secret one for me. So what's the Budweiser Lounge?
It's funny. So when I was researching some of my my airport knowledge, I went and hung out in the Budweiser Lounge just to get a good traditional, airport old-fashioned, the little spray of club soda from the gun, a little bit of orange and bright red cherry juice from the garnish tray. And, I ran into a bartender there who used to work on the other side at one of the lounges that was adjacent to one of the little mini slot machine rooms. And he told me, and this is an exact quote, when he went home at night, he could smell smoke in his underwear. That's how bad it was. That's how bad the smoking was. So even though the Budweiser Lounge in Terminal 1, before you go through TSA, even though it's a smoking lounge, you're only allowed to smoke on one side. It's not too bad. This bartender told me it's a million times better than in the slot machine lounge he was in before.
Oh, I bet. For a lot of reasons.
And you know what? And
I mean, there's some sadness in those slot areas sometimes.
Yeah. So, you know what? Sometimes I think there's just a little charm and joy in a traditional airport old-fashioned.
Rob, thank you so much for joining us here on CityCast Las Vegas with all the airport secrets.
You got it, man. Thanks for having me.
That's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. Hey, before you go, I want to give a special shout out to our newest CityCast Las Vegas neighbors. We are so thankful you're here. And if you'd like to join the folks building a better Las Vegas and get a free Neighbors Only coffee mug, go to membership.citycast.fm. And if you enjoyed today's show, why not go tell a friend? You could also rate our show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Till then, stay lucky.